Now is a party that is known by everyone in the country. We have a different ideology from ZANU-PF, a different ideology from our other political parties, a social democratic party that believes in people-centered development. Everything must come from the people. Our history comes from a people-driven constitution, people-driven developmental processes. This party is growing, and you'll see the results in the 2023 harmonized elections. And we don't want to divert our attention from that particular focus. That is our message. I also have to add to the apology. We were supposed to be here at 11, and it was my fault I was attending the opening of the legal year at the concourse by the Chief Justice. So I had to go through all the process until the end of that process. That is what delayed us. I'm sorry about that. This press conference is a very specific press conference by the NCA party through the media to communicate to the public the position of the NCA regarding the by-elections that have been called. You are aware that they will be held according to proclamation on 26 March 2022, and that the nominations are on 26 January 2022. Many people are familiar with the NCA participating in most by-elections from the time of our formation. And we thought that it would be important for us to make it very clear that this particular set of by-elections, which have been called at this particular point in time, are a real waste of resources. In our view as the NCA, we believe that the by-elections being called at this particular point do not have much political value for the country. So they are a waste of resources, and they do not have much political value for the country, particularly because of the timing of the by-elections. We are all preparing for the 2023 harmonized elections, which are just slightly more than a year from now. Our view as a party is that the whole country must be geared towards 2023, and that the whole country must be doing a number of things. The first set of things that must be done as we look for 2023 is to look at our electoral law and focus on the electoral reforms. The NCA is a member of the POLAC, and only on 17 December 2021, we were able to produce a set of 18 proposals for electoral reform. The document coming out of POLAC will be published in the next one at the end of the week or early next week, when we have completed further consultations within POLAC, and then we start campaigning for the reforms. We will send it to the government. We were thinking as a party, as NCA, together with others, that from now up to the end of the year, most focus must be on electoral reforms. And that is one thing that we think ought to be done. The second thing that ought to be done as we prepare for 2023 is to ensure that the 2023 general elections will be held in an environment that is conducive to political activity, and that could lessen any dangers coming from COVID. I think we have to put a lot of resources on how we will do them in that environment. Now, having delayed these by-elections for almost 1.5 years, 2 years in some respects, because some of the vacancies arose more than 1.5 years ago, it didn't then make sense in our view to delay for 1.5 years and then suddenly you rush to call those elections. Last year up to now, we were supporting the not calling for the by-elections on the basis of the COVID situation. I think our position as a party was very clear. We're focusing on the COVID situation. Now that hasn't changed much. So we do not support the logic of the president in calling for the by-elections at this particular point in time. That might, in our view, be not conducive. It will take a lot of time from all those who are preparing and might divert our attention from focusing on electoral reform. That's our thinking as a party. So for that reason, we will continue with our focus. For us as a party, we are building our systems. We will be holding a congress very soon. We are preparing to ensure that in every ward of the country, we do have structures, and then prepare ourselves adequately for that election. And that's what we believe is important for the country. And so it's not a boycott. That's not the proper term to use. It's not. It's simply to say that they don't make much value, the waste of resources, and that the timing of the by-elections. If we had our chance, we would appreciate the reasons why there are vacancies there, and that if those vacancies could have been filled, perhaps ZANU-PF need not contest them and leave the elections to the two parties, two groups that are haggling over who had the original MPs in that particular election. That is our view as a party. And so this is the message we have. We want to think that the president has not properly applied his mind to the timing of the election. That's our view. And that properly applying one's mind would show that if you have elections in March, I think those results will come out at the end of March. These persons may not easily be sworn in time. I think those who are going into parliament around April or May. Parliament is not sitting that much because of the situation, virtual sitting and so on. And then towards the end of the year, we will all be campaigning for the elections. So I don't see any new MP doing much during that period and so forth. So that's what we think. If there has not been a proper application of the mind as to when these elections ought to be called. It's a prerogative, yes, but I think that prerogative ought to have been thought about more carefully than that. That is our position, and that is all. We really want to thank you very much for attending and hope that you put across this message. Now doing is completely arbitrary on the basis of the president. Remember, he came out of a ZANU-PF meeting and said, I'll be coming back to proclaim in January. That's the first time we heard about it. So they show what I can say that's an irrational exercise of power. And irrationality is a basis for attacking any decision at law. Those who might want to go to court, it's enough to say that. But I'm not sure whether the courts will do that. But politically, it's a challenge. What we are doing in this press conference is to make it clear to the whole world country that as a party, which is a stakeholder, we believe it is a waste of resources. The timing of the elections are necessary, and that the president must lead us towards this issue of ensuring that we have more electoral reforms and so forth. That's what. So we go to a second question which says, is it a litmus test? I'm not sure how you mix that litmus and other things. I don't know what you mean by your English there. But I suppose you're saying, are you using this platform or now to campaign for more electoral reforms? We've always, the only reason why we joined Poland as a political party was to try and use that platform as a soft framework for achieving reform. I think I made it clear in this room or in a different room here that it was a different strategy, get closer to the political system in government and so on, persuade them. And we're almost there, where we have put across proposals. They are not sufficient, but they've come from the Poland group, 17, 18 proposals. We are now testing whether ZANU-PF really would be keen to ensure that they make Poland useful. That's my view, and that's the view of the NC. Then it is at that point that they call a by-election. It will take us another 3-4 months. Imagine what a by-election does. I think we all know. All these people in government, most of the ZANU-PF politicians, they just believe in elections. They were having their provincial things. Now they are in. They won't be doing much for the country. I can assure you, in the next 3-4 months, it will all be about the by-election. And then after that by-election thing, we are in other things. So I agree with you that I can't say I agree with yours, the question. I would say that from your question, I would say yes, it's an opportunity for us to push for electoral reform, and we have identified it. May I use this opportunity from your question to illustrate one electoral reform proposal which we have put in Poland, which has come out very clearly as a weakness of our electoral law. At what point do you close the voters' roll? That's the question I can. At what point do you close the voters' roll for the next election? Under the current electoral law, there are 2 provisions which are unjust, unfair, and we want them changed. And we've already put that in the Poland proposal. We want to say when a proclamation has been issued, there must be at least a week for those last-minute voters who are only pushed to register because an election has been called. Every democracy has such people who are only jolted into wanting to participate. I think the civic groups must know that people get to be jolted. Oh, there is a proclamation. So I think let me now decide to vote. There must be enough time for people to register. And we have put that proposal in Poland. And we've said some days, 2 weeks of that. Now the electoral law says 2 days if it is for National Assembly. Once there's a proclamation, 2 days from the proclamation, that's the only people who can register. Why give people 2 days after a proclamation? Give them a week, give them, and so. Then for the local authority, for councillors, the voters' roll is closed on the day of the vacancy occurring. So if a councillor dies, the voters' roll is closed. Before you even know that the vacancies are risen, the voters' roll is closed. Those who were recalled from parliament, the vacancies arose at the time. So anyone who registered to vote from last year, or even those vacancies that arose 2 years ago, they won't be able to vote for their councillor because the voters' roll was closed at the time the vacancy arose. Please, the media, help us disseminate that a vacancy, a voters' roll for a local authority closes at the time of it. Now, there's Miriam from Newsday. I tried to explain to her yesterday. I haven't read her article, but she got that point when I said, look, so what it means is this. When people turn out to vote in this by-election, if by-elections go ahead, someone who registered, say, last week after the proclamation, will be able to vote for their MP, but they are not able to vote for the councillor. If in the same constituency there is a vacancy for a councillor, they will be on the voters' roll for the MP, and they are not on the voters' roll for the councillor. That is the current law. That's a clear indication of why do we have laws like that. And we have already identified that ourselves to say that must be changed. So I am with you. We must use this period to campaign for electoral reform and ensure that come 2023, we have an improvement in our electoral law.
Yeah, there are 2 questions.
Okay, thank you. My name is Leopold from newspaper.com. Professor, thank you. You highlighted that you joined Poland so that at least you could initiate change from Mulpadu's in power. Now, my question would be, is this response to the upcoming by-elections, the announcement which was made by President Mnangagwa, reactionary, or you have talked about it during your Poland meetings? And if you have talked about it, what was President Emmerson Mnangagwa's reaction to it before you add your own views? Every other party was to add their own views.
I think your question, I should answer it again immediately. We don't govern alongside ZANU-PF. Poland is not an inclusive government. This is the point that we've made. It's not an inclusive government. We are not in government.
I mean, did you air the views during your meetings?
We did not air the views. Those issues were not brought to Poland. We only learned about the by-elections when the president addressed the media coming out of a ZANU-PF political relationship. And the next time that we learned about the date is when the president proclaimed. And under the current arrangement, the president is not obliged to refer issues to Poland before governing. He is the government, he is governing, he is solely responsible for any mistakes or anything that he does well. So it shows you what Poland is. Poland is a platform for dialogue. We contribute ideas, some ideas are taken, some are not taken. And we think it's a good thing. But we are not the government, and we don't take responsibility, which is why we will challenge the government come 2023. We will be wanting to form a government ourselves. Perhaps your answer. So your question, which is a good question, is helping us to understand more about Poland. Poland is not a government of national unity. It is a platform.
I wanted to...
You can follow up what I said.
I wanted to get an appreciation of how much value the president puts in Poland, because Poland is a very important dialogue platform. By right, should have been engaged on the matter.
Well, I think my answer to that, he puts value in Poland, but putting value in Poland does not mean that he should govern with Poland. So he is actually very much entitled to take decisions as he wishes as the president of the country. And we are also entitled as members of NCA and as a party to criticize and oppose decisions that are taken, which is what we're doing. But we fully respect his right and his power to govern for the 5 years that he was given by the people. And so this is his decision. And it is fully within his powers to make that decision. It is fully within our powers to criticize it as we are doing. We think it's an irrational decision.
The other questions?
No, that has been answered.
It has been answered. Any other questions?